All right. Hopefully this is working correctly. If not, it's gonna be sad. All right. So, what was your question? Sorry. What was your name first? Your name. What is your name first?
My name is Angel Garcia,
Angel
and my
Garcia.
question was, if there's any side hustle I could do now, so I would have to be able to, so I could be able to quit my 9 to 5, focus on building something else.
All right. So, what is the first question I have is what is your time frame? How soon do you want to be out of your 9 to 5, um, and working on something else? You say
As soon as possible.
ASAP, right? That's what we all want,
ASAP.
right? Yeah. So, all right. So, what is your main goal when you say you don't want to work your 9 to 5? You want to work on something else, right? It's money that's driven you towards that, right?
Yeah.
So, why do you want the extra money?
For freedom.
Freedom. What do you think that
Yeah.
buys freedom from? Because it's essentially, if you need money to get away from freedom, you're technically buying your freedom, right? So, what do you think? Freedom from what?
I'm just having to work a 9 to 5 and just focusing on more, like building something that would actually help out my future.
Yeah. What's you're in college or high school?
I'm in a trade school.
Oh, trade school. Okay, that's awesome. What are you doing in your trade school?
Electrician.
Electrician, dude. Electricians get paid bang. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, personally, me, I've never been a college guy. I've never been a school guy. I've never been a work guy, right? I've always been very,
Yeah.
there's got to be an easier way. That's always been me. There's got to be an easier way to do this homework. There's got to be an easier way to do this work. There's got to be an easier way to play this game, right? There's got to be an easier way for everything. It's work smarter, not harder, right? And when it
Yeah.
comes to working a 9 to 5, right? I came to the realization shortly after dropping out of high school or dropping out of college. I never dropped out of high school. I graduated, right? But I came to the realization shortly after leaving college that the job that you have doesn't have to be forever, right? So your time frame and the amount of money you want is going to drive your ideas, right? So when it comes to your side hustle, what ideas do you have, right? I hear drop shipping, reselling, I hear real estate wholesaling, stuff like this. What is your idea of, your side hustle that you want to start?
Well, I've been seeing a lot of content about dropshipping,
Okay.
and I have tried that for like a week or so,
Yeah.
but I haven't really been seeing any progress, and so saturated right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is like the best argument for me, right? And this is literally you're in the same boat as everyone. Don't feel like it's because of you that you're not being very successful, right? And actually, when it comes to success, right, it's you decide what success is. So as soon as you say successful, you're successful, you will be successful. Because say me, right now I could say I'm successful. I have 84 people in this Discord. I have over 1,000 followers on TikTok, and it's making me happy, right? So I'm successful. I could say I'm successful currently, but this is not success to me. Success is farther in the future once I have some stuff that I want to do before I consider myself successful, right? So, but when it comes to drop shipping, right? These people that are driving Lamborghinis, I'm assuming that you're seeing, right? They're driving Lamborghinis. They're sitting on their balcony in Miami or in a random country, right? It's just enjoying their life and they're super young, right? Um, when it comes to 9 to 5 work, it doesn't necessarily mean you're working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at a corporate company. 9 to 5 work entitles to any type of work that is takes time, right? There's different types of 9 to 5 work. 9 to 5 work while you work for a corporate company would look like you go to work, you are unhappy. Like this is the typical rat race stereotype, right? You're unhappy, you go to work, and you feel like the system's against you, and you're broke, and you are never going to be retired. You're never going to be able to retire till you're 65, and you're just making your boss richer, and you feel like you're mistreated, right?
Yeah.
So you can either do that or you could put in the same or more work, and I'm going to tell you it's going to be more work when it comes to working on yourself, right? I've worked jobs like your 9 to 5 job, not an actual 9 to 5 job, but like at restaurants or at retail stores for business owners in my local city, right? And I can tell you right now, they don't work a 9 to 5, right? They work a 8 a.m. to a 10 p.m. That's their schedule because they own their own business. They work on their own business and they work for themselves, right? When you start
Yeah.
working for yourself, work becomes 24/7. At least at a corporate job or at a job that's 9 to 5, right? You go and clock in, and once you clock out, work is done. For these guys who own their own businesses, work does not stop. When they wake up, they have a text from their manager, a customer, a client, a past client, someone who, something that has to do with their business. And being the business owner, they have to respond to that text, right? So not only, so someone who's a 9 to 5 slave is only a slave from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? Someone who owns their own business is a slave to their business 24 hours in a day. So this is something that not a lot of people understand, right? And that's why a lot of people say, oh, I want, whenever like they're in high school, right? I talk to a lot of my friends, they say, oh, well, I want to own my own business. Why? Well, because I don't want to have to work like a regular person. I don't want to have to work till I'm 65. Well, I can tell you right now, that's not how it works, right? There is a top 1%, right, who does not have to work, but there's a reason it's only 1% of people that do not work for their money works for them, right? And one, it's because of lack of education. I think that's the main reason that America has the middle class and the lower class is not because they aren't willing to put in hard work. It's because the lack of education, right? Number two, I think it is because they're not willing to put in the hard work, right? So when you say you don't want a
Yeah.
9 to 5, I usually ask myself, because I've always said I don't want a 9 to 5, and I've never realized this, but I'm a very lazy person. I realized it. I'm just messing around. I knew this always, and I said I'm a very lazy person. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I don't want to have to wake up so early in the morning, go to work, right? Until I realized that, wow, since I don't want to work a 9 to 5, it's actually going to mean I have to work a lot harder because I'm going to be working towards my own business, right? 80% of businesses fail, 20% of the businesses succeed, and 80% of those businesses will succeed and 20% will fail. So the math is kind of confusing right there, right? So when it
Yeah.
comes to business, it actually, the whole point I'm trying to get out here is when it comes to owning your own business or your own side hustle, right? And we're gonna get on the side hustle topic later. When it comes to owning your own business or side hustle, you actually end up putting in more work, right? Even though you are making more money that's going in directly into your pocket instead of going into your boss's pocket at a regular 9 to 5, you're still putting in more work, but you're gonna get more out of it, right? And granted, yeah, you can open your store at 9 a.m. and close it at 5 p.m. and put work away, right? If say you have an online business, you could set a certain time in your day that you work on your online business, because I do have friends who drop ship, who trade stocks, um, and do these online businesses, right? Where they only have to work for 2 to 3 hours out of the day, but they aren't making the money that you see on TikTok where these people are driving Lambos and they're on a balcony in Miami, right? If my friends could do it and I could do it too, but guess what? We're not willing to put in that 24-hour day that these guys in Miami are putting out, right? The guys in Miami on the weekend, they're having a blast because from Monday to Friday afternoon, they're working almost 20-hour days, right? It's not actually 20-hour days, right? But they are constantly working on their so-called business side hustle, right? Um, when it comes to having a business versus a side hustle should be on the side, right? That's why it's called a side hustle, because you're already hustling at your 9 to 5 job, but then on the side of your 9 to 5 job, you're gonna have a side hustle. And the way that your side hustle becomes your business is when your side hustle starts making enough money to not only cover the amount of pay you have at your 9 to 5 job, but also the needs that it costs to run your business. So you should be able to pay for one, your business should completely cover its own expenses before it takes over your 9 to 5 job. And two, it should completely cover the pay at your 9 to 5 job, if not a little more for cushion. Um, and so when I see people that want to work a side hustle and get rich off only their side hustle, it cannot be a side hustle if you want to get rich off of it. If you want to get rich off of a side hustle, it has to become your main focus. And not only that, it's going to be very risky if you don't make sure that it covers your 9 to 5 job, plus it covers its expenses, maybe a little bit more for that cushion, right? Of the risk. Because you don't want to quit your 9 to 5 job and then your side hustle fail, and then now you have nothing, right? So when it comes to time frame, if you were to spread out your ASAP time frame to say a year or 2 years or 3 years, because I'm 19, you're 18, we are young. You look at
Yeah.
guys like Iman Gadzhi. He started when he was 16. He is now 22 or 23 or 24, and he just made $25 million, right? But he didn't start seeing progress or success till he was almost 20 years old, right? He didn't make a single dime until he was almost he was like 19 or 20. So when you look at that, you have to realize that these guys in Miami or these guys in LA who are driving the Lambo, who's driving the Bentley, the Rolls Royce, that's living on the balcony overlooking the beach, that's right now. That's where they're at right now. Look back to how they got there, right? Because a lot of people want to live their life that they're at right now, and they see it and they say, "Oh my gosh, well, if I drop ship or if I resell or if I start a SMMA or if I do real estate wholesale, I could be living like this right now." No, it's going to take several years of not seeing any progress and slowly building until you can be on that balcony driving that Lambo, right? So, what my thing is, spread your time frame out, because I've always been the same way. I've always looked for a get rich quick scheme, which doesn't exist, which I thought, there has to be a smarter way out there. There isn't. You have to put in work. It doesn't necessarily have to be hard work daily. It must be smart work daily, because even if you put in hard work to the wrong things, you're not going to get to the right places. If you put in some work into the right things, you are going to get a lot farther than the first. So if me, I've always been, get rich quick, like I just said. So now that I've seen the perspective of open up your time frame, it doesn't have to happen now. You're only a kid. Not saying you're only a kid pushing you down on the scale. It's actually empowering you, telling you you have time. So broaden up your time frame. Turn it from ASAP to say 1, 2, 3 years. Grind, make as much money as you can, and then start a side hustle. Slowly build it, right? Slowly build it till the point where, one, you have enough knowledge to build your side hustle into a real business, or two, until it completely takes over your expenses, right? Because if you're only spending $1,000 a month and your business is making $1,500 a month, boom, you have $1,000 to put into your expenses and $500 to either reinvest in your business or invest into another business or another, say, stocks or real estate, save up for real estate, right? So the number one goal is to broaden your time frame, right? Don't think about it, I need this now. Think about it as this. I can't have this now. It's impossible. Unless I go win the lottery, I cannot have this now, this lifestyle I'm looking for. So say this, okay, instead of working on a side hustle that may make me some money, right? How about maybe I can get another job, or I can start picking up gigs, or I can start lawn mowing, something that's pretty consistent, that still can be considered a side hustle, but will be consistent money you're bringing in to save up for this idea you have, right? And on the topic of a saturated business, I don't believe that there's such a thing as a saturated business. I think that that's all a mindset people put out there to make them believe that it's not possible, and to put the blame on something else, right? No one wants to blame themselves for the work they put in, right? I saw a quote the other day, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people who watch TikTok see it too. Lazy people put in a little bit of work and think they should be winning, when winners put in a lot of work and think that they're still being lazy. So people who want to be winners aren't putting up enough work to be winners, and the people who are winners are putting in a way more work than they have to, and still worry if they're going to end up losing, right? So when it comes to that, I want to really word this correctly, right? I think that when people say, hey, this didn't work because it's saturated, this didn't work because the ads aren't correct, instead of saying this didn't work because those things are affecting my business, say my business isn't working because I'm not doing these things right. You're not putting in enough work. You're not doing the ads right. You're not taking time to write scripts for your cold calls or for your cold emails, right? If you put in the work that you need to put in to make your business a top notch, to make all this money that you want to make, you have to put that work in, right? You can't just put in that little bit of work and then say, okay, why am I not up here, right? Because losers put in a little bit of work and think they should be winning, when winners put in a ton of work and worry if they're still going to lose. All right, you have to be, if you want to be a winner, you have to put in way more work than you actually need to be putting in and still worry. Am I even putting in enough work, right? So you came out and said drop shipping was the first thing, right?
Yeah.
Everyone I talked to that started drop shipping, the first week they were down because they had to buy their Shopify store and their domain name and their product to test. The second week was slow. They didn't lose any money, but they didn't make any money. The third week, their first sale. The fourth week, that's when stuff started popping off, right? Once you start learning drop shipping and what it actually is, drop shipping is a stepping stone. If you talk to the owner of Hydro Flask, Shein, businesses like those are all drop shipping businesses, right? Every company in the world drop ships. Every company in the world drop ships. So Hydro Flask started out drop shipping water bottles from China to people's doorsteps. And guess what? It blew up. Everyone loved their water bottles. So they went to their supplier and they said, hey, supplier, we want to brand this and we want you to only be able to sell it to us. We don't want anyone to have our idea, and we want to brand this and we will own it, right? We're going to call it Hydro Flask. Yeah. So now they have this billion-dollar company called Hydro Flask that started off as drop shipping, because drop shipping is not a business. It's the stepping stone to becoming a business. Drop shipping, I would say, falls under the category more of side hustle or side gig, because a Shopify store, realistically, if you're selling a shit product, which most people are, is not going to last longer than say 2 weeks to 6 months. I would give it that. Obviously, you're going to have some people outside of the statistic, right? And people may get mad at me for saying this. There's some people who last a couple years selling shit product, but the average, I would say, is 2 weeks to 6 months. If 6 months is if you're really, really, really good, and 2 weeks if you're just starting out, right? And so drop shipping is a stepping stone. So if you have a real idea for a business, right? Like me, I tried drop shipping this product right here. You probably have seen it on TikTok. And this product...
The cleaning tool?
I'm sorry?
That's the cleaning tool?
The cleaning tool. This is the cleaning tool, yep. And see, you knew about it. So why do you know about it? Because so many people are selling it. But guess what? If I would have taken time to not use the reviews that I found on Alibaba and Amazon, if I would have taken time to make quality videos, if I would have taken time to run ads, I thought, I'll use TikTok organic, because why? Because these guys say it works and they make thousands of dollars a month. No, it works for them because they know how to run ads. They know, because what they don't tell you about TikTok organic is that once a video pops off, they start paying to push out video even harder, because they know that the algorithm likes it. So once they push out ads on that video, it's going to do even better than it was before. And then it's going to drive sales, right? The return on investment there's no risk to it, because they already know that the algorithm likes it. They already know that people from that video are going to see it, go to their profile, click on their link, and buy the product. So it's a no-brainer to push that out to more and more people, right? And so when I tried doing this, like I said, I didn't run ads. I tried TikTok organic. I didn't make quality reviews. I didn't make a quality store. I made a very basic store. I made a very basic videos. Everything was basic, right? And I was thinking, okay, I want to be above average when I drop ship, but I want to put in basic work. How does that make sense? How does that make sense to anyone, right? Anyone with a realistic brain would say, hey, if you want an average store, you're going to have an average outcome, and that's probably going to be 0 sales. And if you want an above and beyond outcome, which is a ton of money, right? This is all we want. It's what we all want. You have to have an above average store and an above average work ethic. A lot of people love the comfortability of a 9-to-5 job because they don't have to have that. They can put in average work. They can put in average work, and they get their average outcome, which is their, say, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 check every 2 weeks, right? Making $60,000 a year. If what my plan is I'm gonna work my 9-to-5 job. Why? Because it's stable. I'm gonna get my money every 2 weeks, so I'm gonna be able to pay my bills, and I'm gonna be able to save some money aside. And then I also have a couple side hustles that I'll run, right? So I'm telling you what I'm doing just so you can get a kind of idea of how I've realized what I need to do and how I'm going to get there, right? So I told you earlier, I realized I need to broaden the time frame, because I can't get rich right now, but I can get rich in, say, 1, 2, 3 to 5 years. So this is what I do. I'm gonna keep my 9 to 5 job, right? And I maybe I'll even get another one. So what do? I work 2 part-time jobs. I'm not gonna say the numbers that these jobs bring in, right? But you can assume kind of what minimum wage is and what a little bit more plus tips would be. So 2 part-time jobs, right? Plus I run a drop shipping store. Plus I do reselling. So whether it's sneakers, whether it's Legos, whether it's Hot Wheels, whether it's um, laundry detergent, anything I could buy and sell for more money, I do it. I try to do things that have very little risk involved, but I do everything that I think will be profitable. And guess what? Not everything is profitable, but that's part of the game, right? Another thing I do is I wash cars in my free time, right? I don't mow grass or um, wash roofs and stuff like that, but I would definitely be willing to if I had the time for it and I had the time to, learn it. So in doing that, I'm able to save a good amount of money that I keep in cash, right? And it's not about how much money you make, right? It's about how much you save and how much you keep. Because say you make $1 million a year, right? So that's just over 100. That's just under like $80,000 a month, right? But you spend 93,000, or say you spend $98,000 a month. So you make no, I did that math wrong. I'm so sorry. So you say you make $80,000 a month, and you spend $75,000 a month, right? And say I make $7,000 a month, and I spend $2,000 a month. We're keeping the same amount of money, so that means that me and you are at the same level, right? So it's not about how much you make; it's about how much you keep of that money, how much you can save. So in saving this money, what am I going to do, right? I invest in knowledge, which is free on YouTube. One thing about a course, the difference between a course and a YouTube video that you can go out and watch for free is the YouTube video, you have to go on YouTube and look for it. On the course, they're going to get all the information that you need to know. You're going to pay them, and they're going to tell you all the information that you didn't want to sit through and watch. So when it comes to buying a course or free education, that's where the value is at. It's going to save you the time of having to go out, Google everything that you need to know, watch YouTube videos, read books, or read articles. It's going to sum it all up into one course and say, boom, 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 boom. These are the best topics that we heard. These are the best things to learn. And this is exactly what you need to know. Okay? That's the value you're going to get out of a course. So if you're not willing to spend money on a course, you're going to have to go and get that information yourself. And on my Discord, I provide a lot of information for free. I've spent countless hours. I couldn't even tell you how many days I've spent on YouTube or listening to audiobooks, right? Or reading articles or watching just random videos on stuff like this, right? Or watching TikTok or Iman Ganzi, Alex Hermosi, stuff like this, So what am I doing? I have 2 part-time jobs, 2 side hustles, right? And that fits pretty much my entire day. I have off days, obviously, that I take time for myself because you do need to have a little bit of balance, right? I have 2 days to myself that I kind of just, focus on my side hustles. I kind of just spread the workout through the entire day. I eat well, I drink water, right? I do a workout, and I just kind of relax, ease my mind, right? Because work is very tiring. I'm not gonna lie, especially when people talk down on you, especially when you feel like you're mistreated. Gets very old and very tiring, right? But you have to think about the big picture, the long run, right? They always say it's gonna pay off in the long run. So what am I doing with my money, right? I save it, and once I'm ready, I'm going to invest in real estate, right? That is my main goal. For some people, they're going to start paper trading because they can just do whatever they want while they paper trade. It's literally free. They're going to start paper trading, watching YouTube to learn supply and demand or whatever, strategy they want to learn. And then they're going to save some money on the side, say $1,000. Once they get to $1,000 and they feel confident, they'll put it into the stock market and start day trading. People who want to drop ship, if they're thinking about it in the long run, right, they're going to start studying, they're going to buy a course, they're going to learn how to run ads, they're going to learn about marketing, they're going to learn about product, they're going to learn about product development, they're going to learn about all these different things you need to know, right? And then once they save up their money, they're going to go into it with a small portion, try it out, see what works, what doesn't work, trial and error, until they get it, they find the equilibrium, and then boom, they're set up, right? That's how you have to approach your side hustle problem, right? You have to say, okay, what is my end goal? Do I want to be a real estate millionaire? Do I want to be a stock market millionaire? Do I want to be a drop shipping millionaire? Do I want to be a social media marketing agency millionaire? Do I want to be a car flipping millionaire? Do I want to, all these different side hustles that turn into businesses, right? What do you want your side hustle to be? What do you want your business to be? Usually it's something that you're passionate about, right? I've always been very passionate about just making money, right? And I've always been very passionate about teaching others. And what can I do with real estate? I can, for one, make a lot of money, and for two, I can teach a lot of people how to do it. So that meets both of my passions, right? Usually some people will say, oh, well, I really like driving cars. I really like, I love Hot Wheels. I love nice cars. My favorite car is a Porsche or a Ferrari or something. All right, great. Guess what great business would be for you? Flipping cars, right? And you could teach people how to do that too. It's not a very hard business. So when you think about your side hustle, think about broadening your time frame, because everyone wants it now, but that's not what's going to happen, right? It's just unrealistic. If it happens to you, great, and I'm very happy for you, and I'm gonna say that's awesome, man. I'm glad you got it now. We're gonna get back to working, because that may happen with us, but maybe not, right? So broaden your time frame and think really about what's gonna make you happy, because even though it takes a lot of practicality to get into a business to make money, right? Because if you really want money, you can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to do what makes me happy," and then it's money will follow one day, because it's not, right? If you open another coffee shop and say, "Oh, I'm super passionate about making coffee and bringing caffeine and happiness to people's lives," that's not going to make you a lot of money unless you have some breaking, like some industry leading technology or whatever, right? Some new industry technology. So that's not going to happen unless that you have some new industry technology. So you have to be very practical about it too. Real estate makes me happy, for one. I can teach you about it, and there's money there, right? There's not a lot of money in making coffee. There's not a lot of money in teaching people how to play basketball unless you get to teach high names, or you get a good rep, right? You have to find somewhere where there's availability to make a lot of money, right? But it's also practical, and it'll also make you happy, right? So say nothing makes you happy that can make a lot of money, well, then you're gonna have to be unhappy for a little bit, work your 9 to 5 jobs, and just maybe try to invest it into something that'll hopefully grow over time, or cash flow per month, right? So that's my advice when it comes to a side hustle, right? I know it was a very, very long explanation, and I hope it was worth it. About 25 minutes, right? But I hope it kind of enlightens you and the people who watch it to say, okay, well, even though I want to be very, very rich, right, or I want to make a lot of money, or I want to be very, very free, right, or I want to, whatever your idea is, you have to think, okay, do I need it now, or can I work towards it over 1, 2, 3 years? Because I'm gonna be honest. Right now to next week, I'm not gonna change very much. I'm gonna be pretty much the same person. I may grow a little bit. I may learn a little bit, but it's gonna be very, very small. And I can guarantee you this though: in 1, 2, or 3 years, I'm gonna be a completely new person. I'm gonna learn so much, and I'm going to study so much. I'll probably be yoked, because I'm kind of working out, and that's a goal of mine to also be healthy. I'm going to be way healthier. I'm going to be way wealthier in money and knowledge, right? Not just wealthy does not just mean money. That comes to knowledge, health, money, like everything. So I can guarantee those things, right? And so instead of looking at stuff like I used to look at it and say, oh man, I want this next week, or how can I get this next month? Say, okay, this isn't going to happen in a short period of time. It's going to take smart, hard work, right? And it's not just hard work. You have to be smart about the work that you put in. So it's maybe take 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. Hell, if it takes 10 years, is it going to be worth it? Your answer is probably yes. So even if it takes you 10 years, after 10 years, even though you're not going to be super young, at least you're going to get to live the rest of your life, right? And just because I say, it takes smart, hard work, you always need balance. Because say you work for 10 years and then you get diagnosed with cancer. That'd be the worst thing, because now you can't even spend your money and you can't even work anymore, right? So always remember to spend time with the people you love and do the things that you love, right? That's like the biggest thing for me. Always spend time with the people you love and do the things that you love, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And even though there are goals in the future isn't guaranteed. So that's my advice. And yeah, do you have any questions about anything?
No, thank you, man. That was really great information. Really
Yeah.
opened my mind.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not any. I don't think I'm any smarter than you. I don't think I'm any better than anyone in my Discord or anyone on that follows me on TikTok, right? I think I'm just
Yeah.
your average Joe, but I was fortunate to be enlightened. I enlightened myself. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what happened, but I just one day I said, "Well, let me think about this, right?" Started thinking about my goals, what I really want, what really makes me happy, why I want to be there, right? Because there's always a factor on why you want to be there, right? Did I see someone that I felt was better than me, that got to that point faster than me? Was it that, say my best friend's parents always told talk down on me, or my teachers always talk down on me, or someone talked down on me, or is it because there's always a why you want to get to this point, or I just want to live a free life. I just want to be happy and enjoy my time and not have to wake up from not go to work from 9 to 5 every Monday through Friday, right? And just struggle on the weekends because I just know that the next week is going to come and I'm going to have to work again. You always have to figure out your why. And when I think about my why is to teach others, like I said, and make money, right? But that's not my only why. I want to help my family. A big thing in America is that families don't stick together, and usually it's because of financial stuff, right? And that's one thing that I do not want my to happen to my family, right? Money is the root of all evil, people say, right? But that's because the love for money is not, or I'm sorry. The That's a different quote I was trying to say, but the love for power is greater than the power of love, right? And if you can just take away the power, which is money, um, you just have love now. You just have the power of love. And so I want to show love to my Discord, to my TikTok followers, to my friends, to my family. And the only way to get towards the big portion of love, right, is to just eliminate the money. So when you have so much money that it doesn't matter to you anymore, then it's just love, right? You have to be smart enough to make a lot of money, but not stupid enough to think it matters. And that's my big, like, that's all that happens right here, right? I just know that I need to be smart enough to make a lot of it, but not stupid enough to think it matters. Because what matters to me is my family, my friends, the things that make me happy, and teaching people.
I'm sorry. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Do you have anything to say or any questions?
At the moment,
Yeah,
but
man.
I can
I'm
text
sorry.
the this. And I always text the Discord if I have a question.
Yeah, of course, yeah, man. If you could, if anyone's watching this YouTube video and they have a comment, you can just comment it or join the Discord and ask it. Um, and yeah, man, if you have questions, you're free to just text me directly or talk in the Discord. But yeah, man.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to do this video. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you learned something. If not, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but yeah, hopefully I've added some value, right?
Yeah, you did.
All right, thank you, man. Have a great workout. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.